Today is Thursday, Parashat Tzav, and we're continuing with the steps of the Seder. Yesterday, we learned about Kiddush, Kadesh, and today we go to the next step, which is Urchatz. Urchatz is washing your hands, but without a beracha. You wash your hands just like you wash your hands before you eat bread or eat matzah in this case, but now, because it's not for eating the matzah, but it's before you dip the karpas into the water and salt or into the vinegar, you need to wash your hands, because there is halakha. Anytime you dip food, like a vegetable, into a liquid, you have to do netilat yadayim first. However, this netilat yadayim is without a beracha, without a blessing. So what happened if you forgot and you said a blessing? You're so used to every time you do netilat yadayim, you say a blessing. You forgot and you said a blessing. Okay, so it's already done. You continue on with the rest of the steps of the Seder, and you will have to do again another netilat yadayim before you eat the matzah, and this time you're obligated to say the beracha, the blessing. So after netilat yadayim, the next step is karpas. Karpas is celery. You take celery less than kazait, which is less than 1 ounce, a small quantity of celery, and you dip it into water and salt or into vinegar. So, more than one reason is given. The water and salt is representative of the tears that the Jewish people shed in the hard labor that they were involved in, the slavery in Egypt. But why the karpas? Why the celery specifically? Why not any other vegetables? Well, I saw a beautiful explanation for this. Karpas in Hebrew means celery, but it means also a garment, a beautiful garment like a tunic. In fact, Rashi, to the commentator Rashi, in the pasuk that spoke about Yaakov giving his son Yosef, ketonet pasim, a beautiful garment with stripes, he explains it karpas. He says that's called karpas. Just like in Gilat Esther, karpas utchelet. So karpas means not just celery, it means a beautiful garment. And therefore, this karpas, this vegetable that we dip, reminds us of Yosef's garment that made the brothers jealous. And the brothers were so jealous that they sold it, and they sold Yosef as a slave. They took his garment, his ketonet pasimi, they took his karpas, and they dipped it into the blood of a goat, and they sent it to the father, telling the father, please recognize, is this the garment of your son Yosef? So that Yaakov would think and would assume that Yosef was attacked by a wild animal. Well, that occurrence of jealousy between brothers that caused the brothers of Yosef to sell Yosef as a slave is what started a succession of events that ended up with the Jewish people being slaves in Egypt. And therefore, as we start the Seder night, right after the Kiddush, and as we tell the story of the freedom from Egypt, and we remember the slavery that they were slaves in Egypt and the hard labor, we remember the first situation that took place, that occurrence that began a succession of events, which was the dipping, the jealousy that brought about the dipping of Yosef's garment into the blood of a goat. So we take that karpas, which means either celery or the garment, and we dip it in a liquid, which is the water and salt, as we begin the Seder of Pesach. So for the karpas, we take a smaller quantity than kazait, we dip it in the water and salt or in the vinegar, and we say a beracha, bore peri adama, and then we eat the karpas. Here we don't have to lean to the left. If you lean, it's okay. It's one of those things that it's up to you to lean or not to lean, as different from the maror, which we'll learn later, that you're not allowed to lean to the left. So the karpas, you say bore peri adama, and then you eat the karpas, and when you say the beracha bore peri adama, you have in mind to include also the letters that you'll eat as one of the next steps in the Seder. So today we covered Urchatz, Karpas. Yesterday was Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas. Tomorrow we'll continue with the next steps. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.